All right, my friends, it is now time for the Soulful Psalms segment of Beacon of Truth. This is where we take one of the Psalms from the book of sung praises, the Psalms that we hear in every holy sacrifice of the Mass and when we pray the Liturgy of the Hours, and we connect that Psalm to your everyday lived experience. Well, today we're going to finish our look at Psalm 38. So, Psalm 38, of course, is in book one of the Psalms. Psalms 1 to 41 are all attributed to King David. And the prescript, the superscript of this psalm says, Mizmor ha-David Zerach. Zacher. Zacher. So it says a psalm of David for a memorial, right? And what's interesting is that memorial doesn't mean just to remember the past. Because when they offered the sacrifices, the graces and the blessings of a past event are made real and present now, right? So that's the sense here that David is speaking. He started off this psalm saying, "O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger. Reprove me not in your rage. For your arrows have sunk deep in me. Your hand has come down upon me." Right. So obviously, again, typical David, he's going through something difficult, and he feels that that the not that the Lord is doing it to him, but he's experiencing as if the Lord were allowing this to happen on purpose. Right. And so he says, almost like in a sense, blaming God. Your anger has come down upon me. Your arrows have sunk deep in me. And so that's the sense that David has when he's writing this psalm. And so we're going to jump to the end, to a few verses from the end, starting at verse 20. All right, so Psalm 38, verse 20. He says, "My wanton enemies live long and grow strong, and many are my lying foes." Right? So David feels almost outnumbered. He feels that his enemies are keep growing. It seems that his enemies are growing stronger, um, and that these people that are lying and saying these things about me and trying to attack me, they seem to be winning. They seem to have the upper hand. And he goes on to say, "They repay me evil for good and attack me for seeking what is good." Right? And many of us feel like that within our culture, within our society today, that when we stand up for our faith and we speak the truth in love, right, as Paul says in Ephesians 4:15, that we're being attacked, that people don't want to listen to us, or not even listen to us. They don't want to even have a conversation. If you disagree with me about something, fine. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's not have a situation where there's anger and vitriol and spite and hatefulness. If we disagree, that's fine. We can disagree. But if we want to have a discussion about it, let's have a discussion. Let's sit down, talk together, try to understand where each of us is coming from, and find a way to seek the truth, right? Because ultimately, it's not about, oh, who's right and who's wrong, who's the better argumentator, or who shouts the loudest. Ultimately, it's about what is true and what is not true, objectively true, right? Not because, not subjective truth, not where I want it to be true, but is it true in and of itself? That's what we're seeking, right? Because we're seeking, the heart is yearning and longing for truth and goodness and beauty, right? The transcendentals. And so we need to seek that in conversations with others. And it needs to be done in a way that's respectful, in a way that honors the image and likeness of God in the person sitting across from us, even though they disagree. We have to recognize the presence of God in every person that's made his image and likeness, and respect and honor the dignity of that person as a human being. So those are the things that we need to understand moving forward. I think that's one of the great lessons that we can learn from David in this particular psalm. And he goes on toward the end of the psalm to say, forsake me not, O Lord. So even though David recognized that his enemies are pretty strong, that they are attacking him, that they're speaking lies about him, that they're spreading slander about him, again, which happens to us, even though those that disagree with us may seem to have the upper hand. uh, David is calling upon the name of the Lord. He's not trying to resolve the situation himself by relying on his ingenuity, his creativity, his imaginative thinking, his critical analysis or his process for discernment. No, he's not doing it himself. He's calling upon the Lord for help. He goes, Lord, you see what's happening. You are the God of the universe. You're the God that created everything. You see what's happening. Do not forsake me. My God, be not far from me, right? Be not far from me. Be close to me, Lord. Like, even though I feel overwhelmed, let me be overwhelmed with your presence.
Mm.
Let your awesome presence, let your awesome love and mercy overshadow all these other things that seem to be um, tearing me away from you, Lord. Lord, I know that you're here. I want to feel your presence. I want to feel your love in the midst of this chaos that's going on in my life right now. I love that. My God, be not far from me. Make haste and come to my help. Right? That's almost like Psalm 70, uh, 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 which is also written by David. Right? That's the one that starts off. We start off the divine office. Oh God, come to my assistance, O Lord, make haste to help me. Right? Psalms 51 to 72 are written by David. So he here almost has an allusion here to that psalm. He goes, make haste and come to my help, my Lord and my salvation. So the Lord is our, again, almost an allusion to another psalm. The Lord is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Before whom shall I shrink? That's another, I think Psalm 27, also written by David. So we should do the same thing. Call upon the name of the Lord. Trust that the Lord will help us, because the Lord is ultimately not only our God, but also our source of salvation.
For more on the Psalms with Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers, check out Beacon of Truth weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio and streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts.